Warning. Warning. American. Warning. American Freedom Radio is habit forming. American Freedom Radio is habit forming. Use the truth carefully.
October 30th, 2009. You kids be careful out there going and getting that candy. We'll be handing out Enerfood at our house. The kids will never come back. No, they're going to love it. The parents will love it. Just don't come to my house, because I have a trick for you. All right, check it. Thanks for joining us, Deadline Live. I'm Jack Blood. It is Friday, October 30th, 2009. You're listening to AmericanFreedomRadio.com and all of our great affiliates. What's up? Do we have him? Is he there? Let's check it.
You are coming through loud and clear.
Good.
Hello, Jack. Check 1, 2. Hello. Are you getting anything?
Tell me about what you're doing today.
Waking up, basically. Going, what are we doing? We're going to, kind of a day off, but we're doing a radio play over at Sirius Radio. And then there's a party for, in celebration of the Allman Brothers' 40th anniversary.
Oh, cool.
So we're hanging out in New York City right now.
Man, I wish I could be you sometimes, John, or someone like you. I was a musician myself before I became a talk show host. It's kind of a natural progression, I think, almost.
Well, maybe that's my future.
All right. Let's go ahead and get started then. We're here today with John Bell, known as JB. He is the lead singer and rhythm guitarist for the Southern rock band, or otherwise known as a jam band, Widespread Panic. In their 22 years together, they've sold over 3 million albums, are consistently one of Pollstar's top 50 grossing acts. John Bell, singer, guitar player. John Jojo Herman also plays keyboards and vocals. Jimmy Herring on guitars, the new guitar player. Todd Nance on drums and vocals. Domingo Ortiz, percussion and vocals. And Dave Schools, also bass and vocals. John J.B. Bell, thanks for joining us on our show.
How you doing, Jack?
Very good. I had gotten something from you guys, and we were reminiscing about Woodstock. 40 years now. Can you believe it?
It's pretty freaky. I remember watching the movie when I was younger, and back then it seemed like ancient history, but now it's a little more ancient than that.
What do you think in 40 years, and you're looking at a music festival that was a historic world event, where have we come since then? What do you think we've accomplished as a nation, as a world, and maybe what did Woodstock have to do with that?
Well, probably sent some gears in motion. Definitely within the music culture and the way people view the gathering together of bands and putting festivals on. I think it had an indelible mark on what's happening now. We've got probably 50 well-formed festivals throughout the summer in the United States, and that's I'm sure that's in no small part due to the success of Woodstock and the basic phenomena. Some people there didn't think it was a success, but
Well, it
definitely was a phenomenon.
Yeah, it is true that the media and the editors of the big media newspapers wanted to paint that as a disaster area and a colossal failure. Why do you think that the establishment wanted to, create that illusion?
Well, isn't it all an illusion? As far as that kind of was the thing that was going down in those days, and what's going down now is everybody's living in the same world together, but everybody's got their own personal perspective on what reality is and what's going down for them. So that was pretty much of I would think that was kind of shocking to the establishment to watch people conduct themselves with such freedom back then. So they fought back in the press a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't our parents' concert. Depending on how old your parents were, my dad was a hippie at the time, was in prison. Otherwise, I think I might have been at Woodstock, John. Unfortunately, marijuana was illegal. Hey, that's something that you've worked with. I know you guys were on a compilation for Normal, that being Widespread Panic. Give us your thoughts on that, and I guess it kind of goes with what we're talking about with Woodstock today. And I know you also run a wellness clinic there in Athens, Georgia, and obviously medical marijuana is always quite an issue with the environment, growing hemp maybe to save deforestation or use as a fuel. Pretty big issue I don't see addressed by a lot of these so-called environmentalists out there.
Well, what you're talking about with that Normal thing, gosh, like you say, with the medical marijuana, that's a whole nother gig. And as far as I'm concerned, well, I haven't partaken in marijuana in, probably 12 or 13 years, just because it's just not part of my picture anymore.
Well, we won't tell your fans that, John.
That's okay. I have lofty thoughts as it is, so hopefully I'm not the old fuddy-duddy.
Well, I mean, you look at Woodstock, obviously there was a lot of partaking and mind-expanding drugs, and then we had the drug war for about 30 years. What's interesting about Woodstock, John, is that Nelson Rockefeller was planning to send in the National Guard for that, and he had to be talked out of it. That could have been a real disaster. And when you talk about all the festivals that are all over the country this summer, you notice there's a pretty high count of police, something they didn't have at Woodstock, and people were still able to maintain and get along and have a peaceful, good time.
Yeah, and it's still, like you say, it's still true today that, the security and the police that are on hand for the concerts, that's for everybody's safety. And that's not a battle of forces or a battle of wills. Everybody's there for the same purpose, and that's to go in, have a positive experience, and come out the other side better for it. So you're talking back at Woodstock, obviously understaffed in that capacity for the amount of people that ended up showing up. So I think that's a testimony to that deep down folks really do like to get along.
Yeah, I think so, and I'd like to see a little more of that. Maybe we live in different times now, more aggressive times. I know you've talked about this in some of your music, violence on TV and our children being brought up in such a violent society with 2 Vietnams going on right now, as you probably know. You think that society has changed more in the realm of not getting along or getting along? I mean, how has society changed in these last couple of decades?
Well, I think, if you get back to and I must say these are much different questions than I usually get, but I'll try my best.
All right.
You go back to, like the notion of the song, The Dawning of the Age of Aquarius. That is still upon us, stellarly speaking. That's social, collectively emotional shifts don't change overnight. You see the signs of something beginning, and then an evolution takes place that if you look at it day to day, it may look like there's different forms, but it's still part of the stream that's flowing in one direction. So again, it's a lot in the way you look at stuff.
I just get the feeling that the establishment is trying to agitate the people. I'm not sure if you've noticed that, especially in this most recent environment. It seems like going back to 1969. I mean, revolution seems to be in the air again, John, and you must see that being out on the road.